What's up, all my horror fanatics out there? Welcome back to Late Night Frights. I'm your horror host for this evening, the J. Sloan or Jordan, back here to do another video for you. And as you guys know, last week we did a theme, so this week, as always, we're going to be doing horror battles. So to kickstart that, actually, before I start, I have a little announcement. Next week, I will not be doing my video. I'm going to Florida next week, so you will see somebody filled in for me on Monday. But I will be back the week after that, so stay tuned, guys. And also, we're doing horror battles this week, as usual, but next week we are also doing horror battles, and then the week after that we're going to continue on with the theme. So, yeah, I just wanted to inform all of our viewers and subscribers on that little piece of information. So, the two films that I chose to battle today are two classics in my eyes. I love both of these films, but I thought they would be really cool to battle against each other. So the first one is the 1980 film Mother's Day versus the 1986 film Crawspace. So you guys know how this works. I'm going to do a little review on both of these films before I jump into the battle, and I will battle these two to the death. Also, I hope you like the new intro that was shown in front of my video. That's a new one I made recently. It took me a little bit to make that one. But anyways, guys, diving into this, we'll go as usual. I'm going to review the first one here. Mother's Day, which was made in 1980. It was written and directed by Charles Kaufman. This is a classic to me. I absolutely love this movie. And the basis of the story is about these three girls who, I guess they were best friends in high school, and they promised each other, they made a pact that every year, no matter where they were in the world, no matter what was going on, they would all meet up with each other at this direct location. So there's three women, and each year, each one of them gets to choose the place to meet. Well, this year, a girl chooses the wrong place, and they're camping in the woods, and they find out there's these sadistic, weird, really weird kids. Well, not kids, they're men, but you know, they act like little kids, little boys, and they are killers, and they are following their mother's orders. It's very cheesy, very crazy, very underrated. You know, it does get talked about, but not as much as I think it should. This is a Trauma release. This is Eli Roth's favorite horror film. It's just very gritty, very dirty. You can tell it was low budget, but that literally was no effect on me. Like, I didn't care if it was low budget. I was highly impressed by this film, so much so that after I got done watching it, which was a while back, like a long time ago, I instantly did a review on this film, and that was like at 3 or 4 in the morning. And I just fell in love with this movie. Obviously, you can see here's one of my horror t-shirts. I have a few, and here's one of them. This is a Mother's Day t-shirt. And it's a classic to me. It was very disturbing. Some scenes were very disturbing, and I won't get into that. Like, I won't say which ones. I'm not going to spoil the film at all for you. But there are some pretty disturbing scenes. Yes, it is cheesy. Yes, some of the acting is not superb, but it is a classic horror film in my opinion. Definitely check out Mother's Day. This is the way to own it. I will buy this Blu-ray. I think you may be able to get it for $12 or less, depending on if you buy it new or used. But yeah, I love this horror flick, guys. Classic in my eyes. Moving on to the 1986 film starring Klaus Kinski, and this is Crawspace. So Crawspace is basically about this landlord named Carl Gunther, who only lets women move into his building, and slowly but surely you find out he's just one messed up guy, and he likes to kill people, and that's explained throughout the film. And there are some pretty creative kills in this. It's you know, it's a good 80s slasher. I feel it doesn't get talked about enough. It deserves more credit. It's very cheesy, very fun. The acting was done pretty good. Klaus Kinski played an amazing character. He was very creepy, very subtle with his movements, and he had a very light voice, which was irritating at times, I gotta be honest. The way he talked, he would talk like this, and you really couldn't hear what he was saying. I was like, turn the audio up. I saw this on Netflix the first time I ever seen this movie. Then I decided I had to pick up the Scream Factory edition. And what can I say, guys? That's the plot, the basis of the film. You know, a new girl moves in. Slowly she starts to find out what's going on. There's all these other females that he's just obsessed with but wants to kill. It's a really good movie, very crazy. There's some really trippy scenes in this. One with the Russian roulette, which you know what I'm talking about. The ending was a little bit weird, to be quite honest. But you know, with the makeup, that's all I'm gonna say. If you've seen the movie, the makeup, that's all I'm gonna say. But you know, overall, it was a good film. It deserves a watch. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. So that's Crawspace. So diving into the battle here, the first round is body count. So which one of these films had a higher body count? Let's see. I'm going to have to say, I'm pretty sure that it's really hard to determine without knowing the exact number of kills that were in both films, which I don't. I don't know the exact number right down to the last kill. But I'm going to have to say, I'm going to go with Crawspace. For some reason, I feel like this has a higher body count. And just the way it was done, the more interesting kills, I guess you could say, the creativeness with the kills, would have to be why I picked this one. And also, like I said, I think it has a higher body count. I could be wrong. If you want to quote me on that and say I'm wrong, if you want to actually take the time to find out how many kills were in this film and how many kills were in this film, you can do so. I just didn't dive into it that much. But, you know, in my honest opinion, I think this one has a higher body count, and not only a higher body count, but a more creative way of killing. Don't get me wrong, there are some really awesome kills in this one. This one has possibly more creative kills than this one, to be honest. But in terms of body count and how high the body count actually was, I'm going to go with Crawspace. Round 2 is story and originality. Crawspace was cool about a serial killer or a killer landlord, but I'm going to have to give this round to Mother's Day. It was very cool, very weird to see the mother actually being the villain, the antagonist, the serial killer, the head of the bunch, the head of her two boys. I mean, you know, it's been seen before, not necessarily like this, you know, Psycho, but that's not like this. Deranged is another one. But this one was actually really weird. The way she could turn from a sweet and innocent old lady into a vicious killer was quite impressive. And the acting was, to be a low-budget film, which you know it was by watching it, you can tell, the acting was done really well. And she was a really creepy person. Just creepy to watch on film, creepy to watch on screen. And the story of it was really good. I thought it was unique. And I enjoyed the story of Mother's Day way more than I did Crawspace. Round 3, blood, guts, and gore. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Blood, guts, and gore, and just effects in general. I'm going to have to say, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be taking up too much of your time. It's just hard to battle two films that I really do like a lot. But that's the name of the game. I'm going to say Mother's Day had a better blood, guts, and gore, and also the effects, and just the way everything looked in this film. There is a scene, I don't want to spoil it, but, you know, the basis of the plot with the two brothers, and they're eating breakfast. And it is the most disgusting scene that I have, one of the most disgusting scenes that I've ever seen. It involves toothpaste, Cheetos, and just, it was just disgusting. And that doesn't fall under the lines of blood, guts, and gore, but in the overall look of the film, and you know, the gore towards the end of the film and also throughout the film was done really well. It was low budget, I mentioned that before throughout this video, but what are you going to do? It still had its good effects, and it worked more for me than Crawspace. So yeah, this is 2-1. Mother's Day obviously has the upper hand right now. Let's see, round 4, acting and directing. Overall, I would have to say, which one had better acting? Once again, guys, I'm going to have to fall under the lines of Mother's Day. I think this one had better acting, a way better direction, although I love Crawspace, there were some actors in this that were just unbearable, that were trying to be likable characters that I just did not like at all. The Klaus Kinski guy who played Carl Gunther, he was alright, he was creepy, he was just a bit irritating at times, although he did a good job. I would have to say I preferred Mother's Day in acting and directing. I would have to say the direction went way better in Mother's Day than it did in Crawlspace. And I'm not trying to talk down about this film. I do love this movie. Well, I can't say I love it. I do like this movie, but I love this movie. And I think it had a better acting and better direction. Okay, the fifth and final round, personal enjoyment and replayability. Which one would I watch right now? And that is Mother's Day. Mother's Day, like I said, very underrated film. I absolutely love this one. It was very cheesy, very goofy at times, but it did have a serious aspect to it. It was very creepy. The mother was just really creepy to me, really weird at some points. And I just think it was, I don't exactly know how to say this. Like I've already said, it's underrated. I just think it needs more credit than it gets. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But, let's see. That has a spotter in my floor or something. That would not be good. But definitely check Mother's Day out if you haven't. And also check Crawlspace out. But you guys know who won the battle, and that is Mother's Day. So, Crawlspace, boom, you are defeated. Mother's Day has come out on top. It has taken the cake, and that is the winner of my battle, guys. Both of these movies are definitely worth a check out. If you haven't seen either one of these, do yourself a favor and check it out as soon as possible. Or check both of these out as soon as possible. So yeah, guys, that was my horror battle for this week. Comment below. Tell me if you liked it. Tell me if you didn't like it. Tell me which one would win in your battle. And tell me which movie you preferred. I'm the Jay Sloan. Thanks for watching Late Night Frights. Comment, subscribe, and as always, guys, keep it horror. Peace.